Hi YouTube friends, I hope you're having an amazing new year. I wanted to start out the new year with a request video. A lot of you have noticed my teeth transformation, so I am here to talk about it. First of all, I'm going to talk about my oral hygiene because I think it's really important to talk about that. And then I'm going to be talking about Invisalign and my experience with that. And then I'll move on to Zoom and then Veneers. And so let's go ahead and get started with oral hygiene. As far as toothpaste go, I am not very picky. I use any toothpaste out there, and I like to clip coupons on Sundays from the Sunday paper. So once I have a 75-cent off coupon, I'll go to the grocery store and I'll use, Colgate. And if Crest has a 50-cent off coupon, I'll use Crest. But as far as floss, I noticed since I have had Veneers and also even Invisalign, my teeth are really crowded, so it's really hard to floss. And regular floss makes my gums bleed, so when I use Glide it works better. So I like to use Tom's, which is a very fresh type of mouthwash without the alcohol. There's a lot of gunk that is stuck in the tongue that causes a lot of bad breath, so I use a tongue scraper. I think it's important. And back in the day, I would use a manual toothbrush because I thought that was fine, and I would replace it every month. And my dentist actually recommended that I get an electric toothbrush. So now I use a DazzlePro electric toothbrush, and it actually has been the best thing I've ever done. It has a timer, and I can brush my teeth for 2 minutes, and it turns off automatically after 2 minutes. That way I won't have to set a timer or know if I brush my teeth for 2 minutes or not, because it's recommended that you do brush your teeth for 2 minutes. And I like that my toothbrush has a setting. It has a slow, medium, and high setting, so you can brush your teeth insanely fast or do it slow. I like that it has intensity settings. And also my favorite part is that it has a UV light, like a bucket in the back of it, where you can sanitize your toothbrush heads every single time for 7 minutes, and it kills rid of 99.9% of bacteria and germs, which is an amazing thing. And a lot of people don't know that you're supposed to sanitize your toothbrush. I never really used electric toothbrush until now, but I love it because my teeth feel so clean after I brush my teeth. I just want to do this, touch it with your tongue, because it's so smooth. It's like you went to the dentist and got it professionally clean. That's how it feels every time, and it doesn't feel like that with a manual toothbrush, which is really awesome. So moving on to Invisalign. So, I started working as a teacher, and I didn't make a lot of money as a teacher. It's common knowledge that teachers, they don't make a lot of money. So, I would set aside some money every month to be able to pay for Invisalign. And at the time, Invisalign for me and the severity and how crooked my teeth were was $5,500. Now I see them for around $3,000 because they're not as new as when I got them. And so I'm just going to go ahead and walk you through the steps on how I got Invisalign. So I went to my dentist and I got a consultation, and they told me that I could get Invisalign. So after you get your first consultation, they take a mold of your tooth, and then they take that clay mold and they send it to a lab, and the lab creates these plastic aligners that are called Invisalign aligners, and you can remove them when you eat, which is a bonus, but you're supposed to have them on for 22 out of 24 hours of the day, which I think, in my personal experience, is nearly impossible because I'm a slow eater. So I had it for I had mine on for maybe 20 out of the 24 hours. And also you have to bring a toothbrush and a toothpaste with you everywhere you go, because after you eat, you have to brush your teeth before you put on your Invisalign. Oh, and bring your floss too. So that was not that great. Invisalign was a lot of hard work, and you have to visit your dentist as much as you do a regular orthodontist for braces, because you don't get your Invisalign aligners they don't hand you all the sets. You have to go every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks to see the progress, and then they're going to add more bumps to it. So they place these bumps on your teeth, and that'll adhere to the plastic aligners, and then you wear the aligners, and the aligners are so painful. And every 2 weeks you change your plastic aligners and you put on a new one, and it moves your teeth slowly but surely to kind of straighten it. After the 13th week or the 13th treatment, my treatment was over, and my teeth were still extremely crooked. There wasn't much that went on with the crooked tooth on the front. Since Invisalign didn't work for me, I decided to get Veneers. Veneers are extremely expensive. They're about $1,200 per tooth, but since my dentist knew that Invisalign didn't work for me twice, she gave me a discount and charged me $1,000 per tooth. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that, but first, what they did is they gave me Zoom teeth whitening for free. I think they did that because they felt sorry for me that Invisalign didn't. And what Zoom is, it's a professional teeth whitening. So they like open your mouth really big and they put this thing on you and it makes your mouth like really big and open, and then they put gel on your teeth and they whiten your teeth with the gel, and then there's like a UV light, and they do it for 15-minute intervals. And I was scared at first because I have had friends that had, you know, Zoom whitening, and they were telling me how painful it is. But after like, you know, 4 treatments of the 15-minute intervals, it was an hour and I felt no pain. But when I was drinking some water afterwards, there was some sensitivity there, but my teeth were so white, like they were like yellow to white. So like the before and after is ridiculous. And then after getting my teeth whitened, they kind of like matched the shade, and they matched it to a shade called B1, which is the whitest shade you can get for natural veneers. So moving on to veneers now. So when I got veneers, my dentist told me that the whitest shade was B1. But that's not true, because I did some research after I got veneers, and I found out that there's a bleach line. They're called BL shades, and they're like the really crazy white shades. But my dentist didn't tell me that there was that option was available. So I got B1, which is a natural white. It's not like ridiculously white, but it's, you know, a natural person's white. You know, like not like a really crazy celebrity white like Ross White and Friends white. If you guys watch that show. And so with veneers, they go ahead and get a molding of your teeth, and then they send it to the lab, and then you get these temporary veneers that you wear for 2 weeks. What they do is they drill your teeth. So veneers is a permanent decision. You cannot ever go back to your old teeth. It's permanent. It's a lifelong permanent decision. And so I want you guys to know that. So they drill your teeth to really small stubs, and you get a lot of anesthesia. The procedure takes almost 2 hours, and it's extremely painful, and the anesthesia wore off for me, so they had to like do it so many times. I swear it was like 10 to 15 shots of anesthesia. But after you get the anesthesia, you know, it numbs up, but the numbness goes away after, you know, 30 minutes, or for my case it did. So they had to shoot up a lot of anesthesia. But after that, you know, after they drill the little stubs and your teeth are left to little stubs, they put the temporary veneers. And the temporary veneer, the adhesive isn't as strong, so when I left, my teeth chipped right away and they couldn't really mend it. So I had to wait 2 weeks and walk around 2 weeks with like a chip looking tooth. Then I went back and I got permanent veneers, and what they do is they give you more local anesthesia all over. They give you shots everywhere, and then they use like this hammer, and they like hammer off the temporary ones. It's crazy. They like hammer it off and remove the temporary ones, and after they remove the temporary ones, they put on your permanent porcelain veneers, which is a whiter shade of white than your temporaries, and they glue it on with a really sticky adhesive, and they use a light to keep the glue on, and it takes less than 2 hours. The temporary veneer procedure, when they had to drill the teeth, was like 2 hours, and then the second time around when you get your permanent veneers, it's around an hour. But after that, you know, your teeth are perfectly perfect, and they're exactly the way you had asked for. So when I first saw it, my teeth were really long. Like, they got me really long veneers, and I asked them to kind of like shave it down, and my dentist was all about making my veneers look like they were naturally mine and not fake. So they still look like they're mine because they have imperfections like a real person would, because real people don't have perfectly straight, you know, teeth. They have like, you know, shape and personality to them. So my dentist did that to me. He made this tooth shorter, he made this tooth longer, and it's not supposed to look like they're fake, but they are, because I'm telling you guys they are. But it's supposed to look like you were born with these teeth. And the only thing that I am extremely unpleasantly disappointed about having veneers is that my teeth are so sensitive to cold and hot. I actually called my dentist, and they told me that I had to get a root canal for the whole area. So that might happen to you guys if you get veneers and your teeth are extremely sensitive to colds, cold food, cold drinks. You might have to get a root canal. I don't ever plan to get my root canal yet, but I might have to if it becomes as severe. Here is my before and after with Invisalign to veneers. As you can see, my Invisalign teeth were a lot whiter. Those were my natural teeth that were whitened by Zoom. And then with my veneers, they're a little yellow, and veneers can't be whitened, unfortunately, so I can never get them any whiter than what they are. And they are the B1 shade, which is supposed to be the whitest natural shade in the teeth line. I wish I got the B bleach line. That's kind of new, but my dentist didn't give me that option, so I'm left with this shade. I can never whiten it, which is really sad because I love white teeth. But overall, I'm really happy with my teeth transformation. And here is a picture of my before picture, before everything. And this is my after. That was quite a transformation, and I'm really happy I did it. It was extremely expensive. I think it was around $10,000 for my whole teeth transformation. And I know you guys are thinking that's a crazy amount of money to spend on teeth, but it meant a lot to me. I really love having, you know, better teeth. I have more confidence. I talk more with my teeth showing. I don't like do this anymore, and I'm just really grateful that I finally got my teeth fixed. And you know, at the time I was a struggling teacher, but I managed to, you know, save every single month to get this, to make this happen, because it's been a dream of mine to finally fix my teeth. So if you ever feel discouraged that you can't afford to fix your teeth, you can if you save up every single month, little by little. So thank you friends so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any more questions about Invisalign, Zoom teeth whitening, veneer, let me know and I will happily answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you subscribe, and I'll see you in my very next video. Bye!